Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for the questions that you submitted. I received very interesting questions that I think it's important to talk about. So, we're going to start talking about a subject that I feel is going to be important and relevant for many people, and it is for those individuals that have been in the manifesting community for some time, perhaps even several years, learning about manifestation, learning about Neville Goddard and the law of assumption, and applying the teachings, but not getting any results. So I feel that there is something important to talk about. I want to talk about the three fundamentals from Neville Goddard, right? The three fundamentals, for those of you who are not familiar with them, are self-observation, definition of aim, and detachment. And one of my mentors called those three fundamentals awareness, clarity, and action. So you can choose either name, but it's the same thing. And so basically, self-observation of awareness is being aware of the state that you're currently in. If it's not your ideal, then you are aware of the seemingly negative emotions and thoughts and actions and situations and circumstances that are showing up in your life, in your experience. But, self-awareness or self-observation of awareness is not only for the bad things or the undesirable states. It's in general, just being aware of the state that you're currently in embodying. It's good, it's bad, it's, something in between. It doesn't matter. It's just being aware of what you're embodying, what state you're embodying right now. Then definition of aim or clarity is, okay, if I am aware that I'm not in my ideal state right now, then I decide what I want. I want something else. And what is it, right? And then detachment or action is the inner action that I'm going to take to detach myself from that old state that I don't want to embody anymore and to move into my desired state. And I feel that movement, the question for anyone who has been manifesting something for some time and has not seen any movement or any results, the question is, have you really actually moved? Have you really actually shifted your state? Because if you want to shift states, you might think that you need to do a lot of things, imagine, affirm, inner conversations, whatever technique. And it's not necessarily the case. So you can actually just shift states by making the decision that you are shifting states and that whatever thing is happening around you that is not your ideal, you don't accept that anymore. That's not your reality anymore. And just by making a decision like that, or even becoming aware that you're not in your ideal, that can be enough to shift states. That may not be the case for everyone, and it might not be the case for the same person in a different moment. So perhaps for something, they are able to shift with just making a decision, and in other area of their lives, they need to do something else, like imagine, inner conversations, affirmations, I remember when, revision. So the opposite is also true, meaning that you can do a lot of things without actually shifting states. So you can imagine, you can affirm, you can do I remember when, you can, do inner conversations, you can do imaginal activities, which are aimed to help you shift states, but without actually shifting the inner experience that you are having about whatever desire you're wanting to manifest. So if you imagine that you are, let's say you want to manifest financial freedom, you want to manifest money, and you are imagining, but when you imagine, the feeling, the emotion, the inner experience that you have is still an experience of lack. And that, whatever you're imagining, let's say you're doing an imaginal scene, and that scene is not actually helping you shift, then that time that you took that you invested in doing that imaginal scene is not giving you the return. It's not actually producing within you the shift that you are looking for. So if you imagine without actually having a shift within you, then it's not going to produce any results. It's not going to produce the result that you want, because what you see in your world is a reflection of the inner experience that you have. So the state that you're embodying, your inner world. So if you imagine without actually shifting the inner experience that you're having about that desire, about that circumstance, then you're not going to see results, because the only thing that matters is what state you're embodying right now, who you are being, what inner experience are you having. And yeah, you can imagine you can imagine wealth, and you can have an imaginal scene that represents wealth for you, that implies wealth, but yet when you imagine it, your inner experience is still of lack, of anxiety. It's like, oh, I'm imagining this, but I feel the lack. This scene that I am imagining is not actually making me feel abundant. It's just reminding me the lack. It's reminding me what I don't have, what I want, but I don't have. So my recommendation would be to find a technique that you feel is actually making you shift within. And the only way to do that is, so you do the technique and you practice self-awareness. You practice self-observation and awareness to see, oh, did this scene actually move me? Because if it didn't, then I need to find another scene, or I just need to change techniques altogether. Perhaps an inner conversation might move you. Perhaps it's going to be just to go more general, like instead of doing a specific conversation, instead of doing a specific scene, you can just do isn't it wonderful? Because perhaps being specific is making you feel this anxiety, or feeling this, being overwhelmed. So not all techniques work the same for everyone, and you need to play around with them and see which one is the one that is going to help you move the most. And sometimes for the same person, it can be a different technique that can work best for different things. So play around with it, play around with the scene, and see how it makes you feel. See how your reactions to the world are after you do your imaginal scene or your technique. Pay attention to what thoughts are you having, what emotions are you having after you do the technique. And that can help you see if you have actually shifted or not. So yeah, that is my answer to that question, to that comment. And just pay attention, because the only thing that you need to do in order to manifest what you want is to shift into the state of being the person who already has that, the person for whom that reality has already happened, and it's happening here and now. And so that can look differently for different people, right? So different people can get to that feeling, to that state in different ways. And sometimes one and the same person can get there in different ways. So play around, but pay attention, because the only thing that matters is, have you actually shifted? And be honest with yourself, because that's the only way that you're going to get the results that you're looking for, to actually shift your state. Okay, guys, see you soon. I will be answering more questions throughout the week. And if you want to have your question answered, then just check out my stories. I will be posting those questions every now and then, so that I can, help you and support you in the best way that I can with whatever you need specifically. So, yeah, looking forward to serving you every day the best that I can. Love you. Bye.